Hello and welcome to Scottish Football Daily, and what an end to our first week on the channel that we have. Not just one, but two managerial appointments around the league. On top of that, we have a little bit of housekeeping to do. The main headline transfer we've seen in the Scottish summer so far, we've not yet covered. Lawrence Shankland from Hearts to Rangers. And on top of that, we had a few angry bairns in the comment section in one of the videos recently saying that we'd overlooked some of the business that Falkirk had been getting up to. So we'll have a little peek at that as well. At any point in the video, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers and we're getting really, really close to doing that. And we can't do that without your support. As soon as we smash through 1,000, we should be able to do live stream content, which I look forward to bringing you here on the channel as well. But get into the comment section, let me know your thoughts and feelings on everything that we're going to get stuck into in this one. And yeah, let's just get stuck straight into it, because I kind of want to just pick up straight away with Craig McLeish being appointed as the St Mirren manager. On the last video, it felt like this was all but confirmed, but now it is signed, sealed and delivered. And this is an interesting move from St Mirren. We previously covered them on the channel for their appointment of their new head of football and their new kind of backroom structure that they were developing, they're evolving with, having just recruited a top guy from Motherwell. So this appointment of Craig McLeish, I think, is a strong indicator, if you're a St Mirren fan, that they have a coherent idea and approach of what's going on. And with the appointment of someone like Craig McLeish, who did get some plaudits last year, despite not having certainly like a super stellar record or whatever, was he was well regarded for his coaching ability, the way he managed the games and the team. And if they've got a clear idea and a vision of what he is and what he offers and what he is going to try and do with the team, and that really does marry up with everything they're doing behind the scenes, this could be one of those perfect matches for a club where, with limited resources and you're trying to squeeze every margin out of every transfer you can, this could be a really strong positive step for St Mirren. Tried manager in a lot of ways, so it's certainly a gamble in some regard. Having won the League Cup this year, St Mirren will be looking to kick on from a position of strength, having went through a lot of development themselves even over the last 10 years or so. So an exciting appointment, an interesting appointment, if not a headline grabbing one, as it were. But I think signs point towards St Mirren being coherent above all else and at least delivering on a strategy, on a plan of their own. And like I mentioned in the intro, we had some angry bairns last video saying that we'd missed out on the transfer of Latvian international Dennis Milniks from Auda in the Latvian league. And I must confess, with all the sites that I go across looking for info and for data, the Latvian division is just so far down the totem pole, so far down it. The data you get for it is very scant and very limited. Flashscores.com is pretty much as comprehensive as it gets. This guy looks like a pretty robust centre back, 6'3", can score a couple of goals. He's won the Latvian Cup twice, not shy of a yellow card either as well. I've had some Europa Conference League qualifiers in recent years, and I don't think they've ever quite made the tournament proper, but he's had some experience of at least playing in those matches. And when we add that into the bunch of transfers that we spoke about regarding Falkirk, from McMillan, Sibbald, I think we spoke about in a video previously, but certainly Tanser, that this is another player that comes in to really reinforce that defence and really kind of firm them up a bit more at the back. Now, for me, if I'm a Falkirk fan, I'm maybe a little bit worried, because Connor Allen was clearly one of the best players in the squad, maybe even a team of the season candidate, as it were. Can play defensive midfield and centre back. Maybe there's a role evolution for him, because Henderson, as far as I can see, was a pretty decent centre back, and the boy Donaldson is a bit of a mainstay. So this guy Milniks isn't going to be coming in to sit on the bench. So Connor Allen maybe getting moved into midfield. Maybe it'll be a wee development on tactics. Maybe he does partner Connor Allen, and I'm maybe reading into something that's not here, or maybe they might be selling him. So it's maybe something to watch out for. But anyway, get the Falkirk team actually on screen and on the depth chart here. We can see how they're kind of laid out, where they've got a lot of bodies coming into midfield. Some of these guys like McGovern are coming from Irish football. Some of them are coming from the youth team. At this stage in pre-season, it's kind of hard to tell really who's going to feature beyond the obvious senior pros, as it were, in the squad for Falkirk. So again, any further insight you share on anyone who's here that shouldn't be here, or anyone that's missing, feel free. But Falkirk were quietly one of the good news stories of the league last season. Tanser, a very good league-ready addition into the fold, as it were. Sibbald, I don't know if he's a great replacement necessarily for Dylan Tate, but like for like is maybe similar enough. And then a bit of experience and a bit of different pedigree, a bit of different quality coming into the changing room here with the boy Milniks as well. Certainly is a good start to the window, I would say, for Falkirk, who have been a very shrewd operator in the market and very good recruiters. Also, we're talking about Connor Allen. There's also a lot of eyes on Barney Stewart and big bids coming for him from the likes of West Brom and teams in the Championship and whatnot. So if he was to go for a 6 or 7 figure sum, that might be what Falkirk are waiting for to then have some ammunition to run around in the market with. And this squad, if you're being equal about it, Falkirk are want to have another good cup run. They got to the semi-final last year, as well as go after top 6. This just needs a little bit of something in the final third, a little bit more either depth, some quality, maybe a bit of a player, a bit of a maverick type. And of course, if they were to sell Barney Stewart, they might need a bit more of a focal point and arrowhead here. But midfield and defence looks well taken care of. So good luck to Falkirk with the rest of their endeavours in the window, and I look forward to keeping up to speed with them. And I think basically the only club we're yet to cover in the league is Rangers. Now, a lot of you guys will know me from my Celtic content, or maybe just even my general football content before finding this channel. But I'm quite an objective person when it comes to looking at the opposition across the league, Rangers being one of them. And I tried to mention it in the Hearts video, and I think it's worth reiterating here that I do think the Lawrence Shankland transfer from Hearts to Rangers is a real everyone is a winner type situation, because to be quite honest with you, the way I view it from a Hearts point of view, although he was the hero, the captain, the top scorer, all that kind of stuff, which Hearts fans loved him for, and I'm sure are going to miss in the team now, and they have to replace, of course, but he would not have ever been a Tony Bloom type signing. And this gives me a lot of deja vu to Pep Guardiola with Joe Hart. And I know when Pep Guardiola retired recently, he said that was actually his one big regret of his career, that he didn't give Joe Hart a bit more of a chance. But he came in and made that hard decision of to move the team on tactically. They had to make that change. Derek McInnes and Hearts, I don't think would have ever made that move with Shankland. And now that that decision has been made for them, I think you're going to see Hearts freed up a bit more to be a bit more Jamestown focused, a bit more Tony Bloom centric, as it were. But for Rangers, this is a massive W as well. I think when you look at the forward line, Rangers fans, feel free to get me up to speed on this, but I don't really know where Danilo actually really fits in the grand scheme of things. He's still contracted to the club, and from everything I can see, he's still one of yours. But when you look at Shankland, Chermiti, who was a big name player, Nadiri, who was the headline January signing, and Miovski, who was brought back from Spanish football to high praise. Everyone in Scotland loved Miovski when he was at Aberdeen. That is 4 really strong strikers. Danny Rowe liked to play 2 up top at times, and he kind of rotated between that. So no matter how Rangers are going to roll out under Danny Rowe next year, if he's still the manager, despite everyone at Rangers being quite resolute that he will be the manager, not too long ago, more rumours came out of Germany that he is in contention for different jobs. So maybe that's something we'll come back to visit. But, scoring goals is the hardest thing in football, point blank. And the league challenges are the main one that Rangers are going to be thinking about and focusing on when it comes to their team construction. Again, I was speaking about it when covering Celtic content, but the CEO of Rangers, Andrew Kavanagh, or whatever his name was, he did a statement at the end of the year before the Scottish Cup final, and he sounds like a determined guy. He sounds like a guy that's got a real point to prove. He's got the bit between the teeth, and he doesn't want to be made to look like a fool anymore by Hearts on a budget or a dysfunctional Celtic still getting the better of them. And the Shankland move for me, coupled with the exit of Tavernier and maybe 1 or 2 others, I think for the group, for the fans, for the staff, everyone kind of associated at Rangers, this Shankland transfer also maybe offers them a bit of that placebo effect where they can see the change of generation with someone like Tavernier firmly like leaving the building. He's gone now, and then a new big focal point, a new big voice coming in the form of the Chris Boyd regen, the Chris Boyd Lawrence Shankland. So I think this is actually like a really good move for Rangers in a lot of different ways. It will be interesting to see, like Cifuentes, I think, is about to leave, which is why I've just left him to the side here. But Raskin, I think they're really hoping to cash in on for big money because Rangers have spent big already. And although the chairman or the CEO or whatever was talking big about the transfer budget is immaterial of where we finish in the league and they know their business are going to go about it anyway, you do feel that they will need to lubricate the transfer kitty, as it were, with some outgoing signings. There is, looking at this screen, all of these guys that Rangers have signed come in with a manager with a level of promise of being an important first-team player. The wage bill that they've got here is going to be stifling, is going to be suffocating, and is going to be limiting for Rangers. So I do think that you will need to see maybe some more business leave before business gets done coming in. But again, I wouldn't put it past the Rangers board, who are proper like sports professionals. Maybe they will just allow incomings to happen to then facilitate outgoings later. I wouldn't rule that out for them. But it will be interesting to see, because whatever key signings they do next, I think will be a key tell towards how Danny Rowe sees the team shaping up into the next season. Is it going to be that 4-2-2 type situation with 2 CDMs and then maybe, I don't know, like your Curtis and your Gassama types or whatever is supporting the strikers, but also peeling into wide areas. And then you've got 4 strikers to share 2 spots. There is like a 4-2-3-1, play more with a winger kind of situation with Finlay Curtis and Bajrami or whatever. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see those key, let's say, attack midfield, wing positions, how they deal with them. And really, the last thing I would say looking at Rangers is the defence is kind of back to a clean slate in a lot of ways. They've slowly but surely over the years got rid of all those bomb scares that they've had in their team, from Ballagans to Goldsons and whoever. And I know Rangers fans probably think of them a bit differently, but I always just seen them as being not good enough to play for a team like Rangers, to be quite honest with you. And the boy Fernandez, again, could go for a big transfer fee, but this defence really does need rebuilt from top to bottom. So probably got a lot of business, a lot of surgery to be done back there. But I think the Shankland addition to the Rangers team is a huge plus. Sounds like a good move for the player individually. He sounds pretty happy. And I think it's actually, minus the transfer fee, it's actually a really positive move for Hearts. So we'll see how this shakes out. And I think there might be a bit of needle. There might be a bit of rivalry now between Shankland whenever Rangers play Hearts over the coming years. So that'll be interesting to see. But the big blockbuster news that we actually had to finish the week off is that talks of collapse between Celtic and Robbie Keane, and Martin O'Neill has been put in charge as first team coach next season at the very least, which is fantastic. Sean Maloney following him in Strat, all set to stay. And that's pretty much all I've got to say on the topic at this point, because quite frankly, Martin O'Neill being the Celtic manager on the 5th of June, it's just amateur hour from Celtic. This is only the first little tiny domino to fall, and really to know where Celtic are at and how they're going to go, we're going to need to see some more of those dominoes fall. But I think if you're an outsider Celtic looking at this situation, if you're Rangers, Hearts, or anyone else in the league, you're probably rubbing your hands together, because very clearly we have got no idea, Celtic have got no imagination of where to take the club, how to maximise the club's potential. And for as long as they wane on that, it just gives everyone more opportunity and more ground to catch up on and whatnot as well. So I couldn't do the video without mentioning that, because it's certainly headline news. I'm very happy Martin O'Neill's been given the job, given the situation. But again, if you check out my Celtic content on Celtsar here for more information or for more in-depth, Celtic can't look beyond the length of our nose, essentially, or however that saying's meant to go. Thanks to everyone that's tuned into the content here on the first week that we've been running it. All the support is not lost on me. It's very much appreciated, and thank you very much. Hopefully, with your continued support, we can continue to grow the channel, and I'll do my best to bring more different variety as stuff goes on as well, and hopefully a higher level of content as we go through. On screen and now some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you all on Monday for a bit of a catch-up. Stay out of trouble, and I'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.